What if the path to wealth was never about numbers, strategies, or external effort, but something far more profound, something hidden deep within the way we think, speak, and perceive the world? What if the key to abundance was not in acquiring more, but in unlocking an inner language that has been shaping your reality all along? We've all been conditioned to believe that financial success is about external effort, working harder, making smarter investments, or finding the perfect opportunity. But here's the real secret. Wealth begins within. It is not something you chase, it is something you attract, align with, and ultimately embody. Every moment, whether you realize it or not, you're speaking a language, a silent dialogue with yourself that defines what is possible and what is not. Consider this. Why do some people seem to manifest success effortlessly while others struggle despite all their hard work? It's not just luck. It's not even intelligence. It's mindset. And more specifically, it's the subconscious patterns and beliefs running in the background, shaping every choice, every action, and ultimately, every result. The journey we are about to take is unlike anything you've heard before. We are not here for surface-level affirmations or quick-fix techniques. This is about something deeper, an exploration into the unseen forces governing wealth. We will be drawing from metaphysics, ancient philosophy, quantum principles, and psychology to uncover the hidden blueprint that governs prosperity. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been speaking a language all your life without ever questioning whether it's limiting or expanding your reality. What if changing just a few key phrases, a few internal narratives, could open doors you never even knew existed? This is not speculation. It is a principle that ancient wisdom traditions and modern neuroscience alike have confirmed. This is not just about money. This is about unlocking a way of being that shifts everything: your confidence, your relationships, your opportunities, and yes, your financial freedom. True wealth is holistic. It is a state of mind, a way of perceiving the world, a frequency that you tune into. And so I invite you to stay with me as we journey through ideas that will reframe everything you've been taught about success. We will look at the mind's mirror, how your thoughts create reality. We will explore the ancient wisdom that reveals how limiting beliefs keep you trapped. We will uncover the power of vision, the science of habit, the principle of resilience, and the synergy between giving and receiving. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand wealth intellectually. You will feel it in your bones. You will see it reflected in every decision you make. And most importantly, you will know how to speak the language of abundance fluently, effortlessly transforming not just your financial world, but your entire life. So let's begin. The mind's mirror: how perspective shapes reality. If you were told that the world around you is merely a reflection of your inner thoughts, would you believe it? Most people assume that life happens to them, that their circumstances are external forces beyond their control. But what if reality is more like a mirror, reflecting back the beliefs, fears, and expectations you hold within? Carl Jung, the great psychologist, explored this idea through his work on the unconscious mind. He suggested that our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and deep-seated beliefs, acts as a projector, shaping the reality we experience. In other words, what you consistently think about and believe eventually materializes in your life. This is not some mystical claim. It is a psychological principle backed by neuroscience. Your brain is wired to filter and interpret reality in alignment with your dominant thoughts. Imagine two people walking down the same street. One, who believes the world is full of opportunities, notices an open hiring sign in a store window, a book giveaway at a sidewalk stall, and a friendly stranger who smiles at them. The other, who believes life is hard and unfair, walks the same street but sees only the cracks in the pavement, the noise of honking cars, and people rushing past without acknowledging them. Same street, same world. Two entirely different experiences. Why? Because the mind acts as a lens, coloring reality according to what it expects to see. This principle is not new. Ancient wisdom traditions understood this well. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a concept called mental transmutation, the idea that thoughts are the building blocks of reality and can be transformed to alter one's external world. This is echoed in metaphysics, which teaches that consciousness is not separate from the material world, but intricately connected to it. If your thoughts and beliefs shape reality, then changing them must logically lead to a shift in what you experience. But how do you do this in a practical way? A powerful exercise is the practice of self-awareness. For one full day, track every thought you have about money, success, and opportunity. Are you telling yourself that wealth is difficult to attain, that you're unlucky, that some people are just born rich while others struggle? At the end of the day, review these thoughts and ask yourself, are they empowering or limiting? Are they shaping a life of abundance or reinforcing scarcity? Philosophers have long debated the nature of reality, but one thing remains clear. Your perspective influences what you perceive. Analytical philosophy tells us that questioning our assumptions is the first step toward intellectual and personal growth. By analyzing the way you think, you gain the power to change it. And when you change the way you see the world itself begins to shift. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That is the key. Your life is not random. It is a reflection, a mirror of your mind. The question is, what are you projecting onto it? Adjust the internal mirror, and the outer world will follow. Rewriting the internal script. Ancient insights on limiting beliefs. Most people never realize that their biggest obstacles are not external forces, but the invisible beliefs they carry. These silent scripts, formed over years of conditioning, operate beneath the surface, dictating choices, actions, and ultimately, outcomes. The real question is, who wrote the script you're living by? And more importantly, is it serving you or is it keeping you trapped? Ancient philosophers understood the power of the mind in shaping destiny. Pythagoras, often remembered for his contributions to mathematics, also explored the nature of human thought. He taught that introspection was the key to aligning oneself with the greater order of the universe. His belief? When we examine the inner workings of our mind, we gain the ability to reshape our reality. This aligns with the philosophy of mind, which examines how both conscious and subconscious thought processes govern long-term behavior. But limiting beliefs are tricky. They don't announce themselves. They whisper in the background, disguised as logical reasoning. I'm not good with money. Wealthy people are greedy. Financial success requires struggle. These statements seem harmless, but they act like unseen chains, restricting your ability to step into a new reality. Ethics adds another layer to this discussion. There is a moral dimension to self-transformation. If you have the ability to change your mindset, to elevate your thinking, and to step into greater abundance, then choosing not to do so is not just a personal limitation, but a disservice to the world. Your growth is not just for you. It impacts your family, your community, and everyone you interact with. This echoes the teachings of great philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, who emphasized personal mastery not as an act of selfishness, but as a responsibility. In the life and teachings of Thoth, an ancient text rooted in Hermetic wisdom, there is a concept called mental transmutation. The idea is simple yet profound. Thoughts are like energy. They are not fixed, but fluid. A negative belief is not a permanent truth, but a temporary state that can be transformed. This is the essence of self-mastery. Instead of suppressing doubts or fears, acknowledge them. Observe them as if they were separate from you. Once you see them clearly, they lose their grip. A practical way to rewrite your internal script is through journaling. Each day, identify one belief that may be limiting you. Write it down, then challenge it. Where did it come from? Is it objectively true, or is it just something you've accepted without question? Then rewrite it. If you've always believed money is hard to come by, reframe it as, opportunities for wealth are everywhere, and I am learning to recognize them. This is not about blind optimism. It's about shifting the framework through which you see the world. Cognitive behavioral psychology supports this approach. When you consciously change your thought patterns, you create new neural pathways in the brain. Over time, these new pathways become the default, replacing old limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Everything begins in the mind. Your reality is built upon the foundation of your beliefs. If you want a new outcome, you must first rewrite the script. The Wealth Blueprint: Designing Your Future Through Vision. Wealth is not just about money. It's about designing a way of living that aligns with who you truly are. Yet, most people approach financial success as though they are wandering through life without a map, hoping to stumble upon prosperity. But think about it. Would you set out on a journey without knowing your destination? Without a clear vision, how can you expect to arrive anywhere meaningful? Existentialist thought suggests that meaning is not something we passively discover. It's something we actively create. You are not at the mercy of fate. You have the power to define your own life, to shape your own destiny. But here's the problem. Most people allow external circumstances to dictate their direction. Instead of crafting their own wealth blueprint, they react to whatever life throws their way. Epistemology, the study of knowledge, teaches that clarity is key. The more precise you are about what you want, the stronger your ability to manifest it. Vague desires never materialize because they lack definition. This is why so many people struggle with financial success. They say they want more money, but they have no clear vision of what that actually means. Do they want freedom, security, the ability to create? Without specificity, the mind has no clear target to focus on. In the Life and Teachings of Thoth, an ancient Hermetic text, there is a principle that speaks to this concept. Self-mastery is the bridge between vision and reality. A goal without discipline is just a wish. A dream without a strategy is nothing more than fantasy. This wisdom has echoed through history, with thinkers like Hannah Arendt emphasizing the power of personal initiative in shaping one's place in the world. True wealth does not come from passivity. It comes from conscious creation. A practical way to begin designing your wealth blueprint is through visualization, but not in the superficial sense of simply imagining success. This is about deep, intentional visioning, mapping out your financial future with clarity and precision. Ask yourself, what does true abundance look like for you? What kind of work would you do? How would you feel waking up each morning? What kind of relationships would you cultivate? When your vision is rich in detail, it becomes more than just an idea. It becomes a blueprint. One of the most powerful tools for bringing this blueprint to life is the creation of a vision board. But here's the key. Don't just fill it with images of material wealth. Wealth is holistic. Include elements that represent your spiritual, emotional, and intellectual goals as well. Financial success is meaningless if it is not accompanied by fulfillment in other areas of life. Philosophers, psychologists, and spiritual teachers alike have emphasized the importance of clarity in manifestation. The clearer you are on your goals, the easier it becomes to take aligned action. When you define your vision with precision, your subconscious mind begins working in the background, guiding you toward opportunities that align with it. You are not here to simply exist. You are here to create. Your wealth blueprint is yours to design. Make it intentional, make it clear, and then take the steps necessary to bring it into reality. Habit alchemy, building lasting success, rituals. Wealth is rarely the result of one grand event. Instead, it is the outcome of small, repeated actions compounded over time. Yet, so many people believe that success requires massive effort or a dramatic breakthrough. In reality, it is the power of consistency, your daily rituals, that determines your financial and personal growth. The question isn't whether you have habits, but whether those habits are working for you or against you. Hermetic philosophy, particularly in the teachings of the Life and Teachings of Thoth, speaks of alchemy, not just in the physical sense, but in the transformation of self. True alchemy is not about turning lead into gold, but refining one's thoughts, actions, and behaviors until they align with higher principles. The ancients understood that small, repeated rituals shape reality. What you do consistently, you become. From a psychological perspective, virtue ethics, an idea explored by Aristotle, suggests that developing character is not about single actions, but about repeated behaviors until they become second nature. The habits you cultivate define your identity, and your identity dictates your results. This is why changing habits is one of the most powerful ways to transform your financial and personal life. But most people struggle with habits because they rely on willpower alone. The key is not forcing change, but embedding new behaviors so seamlessly into your routine that they require no effort. A simple way to do this is through the micro-habit method. Instead of overhauling your life overnight, start with small, almost effortless actions. Want to build financial discipline? Begin by saving just 1% of your income. Want to develop a wealth-conscious mindset? Spend 2 minutes each morning visualizing financial success. Once these habits become automatic, expand them gradually. This aligns with pragmatism, the idea that small, practical steps lead to sustainable change. Another principle emphasized in the Life and Teachings of Thoth is the power of sacred rituals. Ancient sages knew that structure creates transformation. Today, we see the same concept applied in modern psychology. Habit formation is strongest when tied to existing routines. If you want to build a habit of reviewing your financial goals, attach it to something you already do, like drinking your morning coffee. By linking new habits to established ones, they become integrated effortlessly. Philosophers and spiritual teachers alike have emphasized that success is not a single act, but a way of life. Wealth, like anything of value, is a byproduct of refinement. The secret is not in sudden breakthroughs, but in the quiet, consistent rituals that shape who you become. Your habits are your alchemy. Choose them wisely. Vision versus distraction, tuning your opportunity radar. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others struggle to recognize them even when they are right in front of them? The difference isn't luck, it isn't intelligence, it is awareness. The ability to see what others overlook is one of the greatest financial and personal skills you can cultivate. Wealth does not come from working harder. It comes from seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. Many people think of opportunity as something external, something that happens by chance. But in reality, opportunity is often a matter of perception. The philosophy of science teaches us that breakthroughs occur when we remain open to anomalies. Scientific discoveries happen not because researchers follow a rigid path, but because they pay attention to unexpected patterns. The same applies to wealth building. The greatest financial breakthroughs don't come from conventional wisdom. They come from spotting the outliers, the hidden openings that others ignore. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a passage that suggests that the attuned mind sees beyond surface appearances. This principle aligns with quantum physics, where observation itself influences reality. If your mind is conditioned to see limitations, that is all you will notice. But if you train yourself to scan for hidden opportunities, your brain begins filtering reality differently. Suddenly, the connections, ideas, and pathways that were always there, but hidden, become visible. This ability can be cultivated. One of the most effective exercises is opportunity journaling. For the next 7 days, commit to writing down 10 opportunities you notice each day. They don't have to be life-changing. Maybe you overheard a conversation about an emerging market trend. Maybe you saw an underutilized skill in yourself that could be monetized. Maybe you realized that a small change in your daily routine could free up time for something valuable. The point is to train your brain to notice what it previously ignored. Sociology teaches us that our environment plays a massive role in shaping our perception. If you surround yourself with people who believe in limitation, you will unconsciously absorb that worldview. But if you engage with those who think expansively, who see opportunities everywhere, you will begin adopting the same mindset. Erich Fromm, a philosopher and social psychologist, spoke of the art of relational living, the idea that our relationships shape our reality. This is why networking is not just about business. It's about exposure to new ways of thinking. The world is full of hidden opportunities, but you will only see them if your mind is trained to look. Perception shapes reality. The question is, what are you choosing to perceive? Bouncing forward, the resilience factor. Every great success story has one thing in common: resilience, the ability to rise after setbacks, to adapt when circumstances change, and to keep moving forward when things seem uncertain. Yet most people misunderstand resilience. They see it as enduring hardship, as simply pushing through difficulties. But true resilience is not about resistance. It is about transformation. It is the ability to take every challenge and use it as fuel for growth. Phenomenology, the study of lived experience, teaches us that perception shapes reality. The same event, whether it is failure, rejection, or financial loss, can be seen in two ways: as a final defeat or as a temporary phase in a larger journey. Those who master resilience understand that setbacks are not endings, they are transitions. Every difficulty carries a lesson, a redirection, or an opportunity that may not yet be visible. The Quran conveys a powerful message in this regard. Indeed, God will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. 13:11. This verse is not about waiting for divine intervention. It is about personal accountability. Change begins internally. If you see obstacles as barriers, they remain barriers. If you see them as stepping stones, they become exactly that. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a recurring theme of cyclical renewal, the idea that every setback is part of a grand rhythm, much like the tides. This perspective shifts the way we approach failure. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, we begin to understand it as part of the natural process of growth. Every dip is followed by a rise, but only for those who keep moving forward. From a psychological perspective, Resilience is strengthened through mindfulness. Buddhist traditions teach that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our attachment to them. When we experience failure, we often dwell on it, replaying it in our minds, assigning meaning to it that reinforces self-doubt. But if we observe setbacks without attachment, without judgment, we gain the clarity to extract lessons and move forward with greater wisdom. A practical way to cultivate this mindset is through a simple exercise: the growth log. Each time you face a setback, write it down. Then, rather than focusing on the loss, write what you learned from the experience and how it can serve you in the future. Over time, this log becomes proof that every difficulty has led to some form of growth, making it easier to trust the process. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it is about using failure as a tool for evolution. Those who understand this principle are not discouraged by setbacks. They are fueled by them. Every challenge is an invitation to rise higher. The only question is, how will you respond? The synergy principle, power of connection. Wealth is rarely built in isolation. Success, in its deepest sense, is not just about individual achievement, but about the relationships we cultivate, the people we uplift, and the energy we exchange with the world. Yet many people misunderstand the role of connection in financial and personal growth. They think of networking as a transactional activity, meeting the right people, making the right deals. But true wealth is built on something much deeper: synergy. The principle that when we collaborate, support, and share knowledge, the results become exponentially greater than what we could achieve alone. Social psychology teaches that human beings are wired for connection. Erich Fromm, one of the great thinkers in psychology, spoke of the art of relational living, the idea that deep and meaningful relationships are the foundation of fulfillment. When it comes to financial success, the same principle applies. Surround yourself with people who expand your thinking, and you will begin to see new opportunities. Engage with those who believe in abundance, and you will start to notice wealth in places you never did before. The problem is that many people isolate themselves when they are struggling. They try to figure things out alone, believing they must have all the answers before reaching out. But in reality, growth happens in connection. The most successful people in history, from philosophers to business leaders, understood that ideas are refined through dialogue, opportunities arise through collaboration, and strength is found in community. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a passage that speaks of the balance between solitude and connection. It teaches that while moments of isolation can lead to deep insight, true power is found when those insights are shared. Wisdom grows when it is passed between minds, much like fire spreading from one torch to another, illuminating a greater path forward. Consider how this applies in your own life. Have you ever had a conversation that shifted your entire perspective? A single insight from another person can sometimes unlock doors we didn't even know existed. This is why mentorship is so valuable, not just in business, but in every aspect of life. Having someone who has walked the path before, you can save years of struggle, offering guidance and shortcuts that may have taken decades to discover alone. But the synergy principle works both ways. Just as you receive, you must also give. Contribution is a key part of wealth creation. When you share your knowledge, support others, and offer value without expectation, you create an energy flow that naturally attracts more opportunities. This aligns with the principles of reciprocity found in ethics. When we give freely, the universe finds ways to return that energy to us, often in unexpected and profound ways. A simple practice to implement this principle is the 20-minute connection habit. Each day, dedicate 20 minutes to purposeful communication whether it's checking in on a mentor, offering value to someone in your network, or simply engaging in a meaningful conversation. Over time, these small interactions compound, leading to unexpected opportunities, deep relationships, and a wealth of wisdom that no amount of money can buy. True wealth is not measured by what you accumulate, but by the connections you nurture. The relationships you build today will shape the opportunities you receive tomorrow. Success is not a solo journey. It is an orchestra where every interaction, every act of generosity, and every moment of collaboration creates a harmony greater than the sum of its parts. Gratitude's generative power. We often think of gratitude as an emotion, something we feel when good things happen. But what if gratitude was more than that? What if it was a creative force, a tool that could shape reality, attract abundance, and rewire the very structure of your mind? The connection between gratitude and wealth is not just philosophical. It is deeply psychological, spiritual, and even scientific. Most people live in a state of longing. They focus on what they don't have, constantly chasing something in the future. But the paradox of wealth is this: those who feel abundant attract more abundance, while those who feel lack continue to experience it. This is because your thoughts and emotions shape your perception, influencing the opportunities you notice, the decisions you make, and the energy you project into the world. Theology has long emphasized gratitude as a pathway to grace. St. Augustine, one of the most influential thinkers in Christian philosophy, wrote about the power of appreciation, suggesting that gratitude is not just about recognizing blessings, but about aligning oneself with divine abundance. When you acknowledge what you have, you expand your ability to receive more. This principle is echoed in nearly every spiritual tradition, from the Quran's emphasis on gratitude as a means of increasing blessings to Buddhist teachings that frame contentment as the highest form of wealth. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a concept known as the invocation of appreciation. This ancient wisdom suggests that by focusing on what is already present, we attune our minds to the frequency of abundance, making it easier to recognize and receive new opportunities. This aligns with modern research in positive psychology, which shows that gratitude literally rewires the brain. Studies have found that regularly practicing gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin levels, the same neurotransmitters responsible for happiness and motivation. In other words, when you focus on what is good, your brain reinforces patterns that make it easier to create more of it. But gratitude is not just about emotions. It is about action. A practical way to integrate this into your daily life is through the practice of active gratitude. Every morning, spend 5 minutes listing 3 things you appreciate about your current financial or life situation. But here's the key. Follow it with action. Express thanks to at least one person, whether through a message, a call, or a small act of kindness. This shifts gratitude from being a passive feeling to an active force that transforms both your mindset and your external world. Social psychology supports this approach. When you express gratitude, it strengthens relationships, builds trust, and fosters a sense of interconnectedness. And in the realm of wealth, relationships are everything. Opportunities, collaborations, and financial breakthroughs often come not from isolated effort, but from the connections we cultivate. By making gratitude a habit, you create an energy that draws others toward you, opening doors in ways you cannot predict. Gratitude is not just a reaction, it is a generative power. It does not wait for circumstances to change. It changes circumstances. It does not wait for wealth to appear. It creates the conditions for wealth to flow. When you shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, you send a signal to the universe, to your subconscious, and to those around you that you are ready to receive, to expand, and to step into greater abundance. Wealth is not just about numbers in a bank account. It is about a state of being. And the wealthiest people, in every sense of the word, are those who have mastered the art of appreciation. Embrace imperfection, progress over perfection. One of the biggest obstacles to success, whether in wealth, creativity, or personal growth, is the illusion of perfection. People hesitate, delay, and overthink because they are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect skill set. But what if this very pursuit of perfection is what keeps most people stuck? Postmodern philosophy challenges the idea of absolute truth, arguing that perfection itself is often a socially constructed illusion. No objective standard of perfection exists, only evolving perspectives shaped by experience and culture. This is true in wealth building as well. The belief that everything must be flawless before taking action is a mental trap that delays progress indefinitely. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a profound teaching about the nature of creation. It suggests that the universe itself is in a state of constant becoming, that nothing is ever truly finished and everything is in motion. This aligns with the Taoist concept of wu wei, or effortless action, embracing the flow of life rather than resisting it with rigid expectations. The lesson? Waiting for perfection is like waiting for the river to stop flowing before you step in. The current is always moving, and your job is to move with it. Many of the greatest thinkers in history understood this principle. Thomas Aquinas, one of the most influential philosophers in religious thought, emphasized the balance between faith and reason. He argued that overanalysis can lead to paralysis, too much questioning, too much hesitation, and suddenly no action is taken at all. Success belongs to those who are willing to take imperfect action, refining their path as they go. Think about any major innovation, business, or piece of art. The first version is rarely the final masterpiece. Early prototypes of great inventions were often flawed. Great books go through countless revisions. Businesses that thrive adapt their models over time. The same applies to personal wealth. Your financial journey will never be perfect, but action, even imperfect action, leads to refinement and mastery. A simple exercise to break free from perfectionism is the 2-week imperfection challenge. Choose something you've been putting off because you're waiting for the right time. Set a deadline of 14 days to create a beta version of it, whether it's launching a project, making an investment decision, or taking the first step toward a goal. Accept all flaws. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. Once the first version exists, improvement becomes easier. Perfection is a mirage. It moves further away the closer you get. But action, no matter how small, creates momentum. The secret to mastery in any area, wealth, creativity, or personal growth, is not in waiting for the perfect conditions, but in embracing the process itself. Because in the end, progress will always outperform perfection. Circulating abundance, the cycle of giving and receiving. Wealth is often thought of as something to accumulate, to hold tightly, to protect. But history, philosophy, and even economics reveal a deeper truth. Abundance flows. Money, like energy, must circulate. Those who understand this principle don't just seek wealth, they create it, expand it, and share it, knowing that giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. Many ancient traditions have emphasized this. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a teaching on cosmic reciprocity, the idea that whatever we send out returns in new forms, sometimes directly, sometimes in ways we never expect. This aligns with what modern sociology teaches about wealth distribution. Cornel West, a contemporary philosopher and social theorist, has spoken about the moral responsibility of using personal success to uplift others. True wealth is not just about individual gain, but about contributing to a greater flow of abundance that benefits society. This principle is not just moral, it is practical. Think of the wealthiest people in the world. They don't just hoard money, they invest, they donate, they create systems that allow resources to move. In business, companies that give value, whether through innovation, service, or philanthropy, tend to thrive long-term. The same applies to individuals. Those who generously share their knowledge, time, and resources often find opportunities multiplying in unexpected ways. But giving is not just about financial generosity. It is also about the energy we contribute, our knowledge, our encouragement, our mentorship. Many people fear that giving means losing, but the opposite is true. When you give, you expand. You step into the role of abundance itself, reinforcing the mindset that there is always more than enough. A practical way to implement this is through purposeful giving goals. Each month, commit to contributing in 3 ways: financial giving, even a small amount; knowledge sharing, mentorship or advice; and relational giving, acts of kindness or support. This structured approach ensures that giving becomes a habit, not an afterthought. The key is balance. Just as giving fuels abundance, so does receiving. Some people struggle with this, feeling undeserving of wealth, love, or success. But receiving with gratitude is as important as giving with generosity. When you accept abundance with an open heart, you continue the cycle, allowing energy, resources, and opportunities to flow freely. Wealth is not stagnant, it is dynamic. The more you contribute to the cycle of abundance, the more you become a magnet for it. Those who understand this don't fear giving. They recognize it as the very mechanism that keeps prosperity in motion. Courage and clarity, confidence in action. Many people believe that success comes from external circumstances, having the right opportunities, the right education, or the right connections. But beneath all of that, there is a deeper, more fundamental ingredient: confidence. Without confidence, even the best opportunities go unnoticed, the best skills remain underutilized, and the best ideas remain unrealized. Confidence is not arrogance, it is clarity in action. It is knowing what you stand for and having the courage to act on it. Philosophy has long explored the relationship between belief and action. Thomas Aquinas, one of the greatest minds in theology and philosophy, wrote extensively about the balance between faith and reason. He argued that when our beliefs are clear, our actions become decisive. This is true in both spirituality and success. Those who hesitate, doubt, or second-guess themselves often find that wealth and opportunity elude them, not because they are unqualified, but because they fail to act when the moment presents itself. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a passage about cultivating inner stillness so that decisions arise from clarity rather than fear. This aligns with what modern psychology teaches about confidence. It is not something you are born with, but something you develop by repeatedly stepping into action. Every time you face a challenge and take action despite uncertainty, you strengthen your ability to move forward without hesitation. Think about people who inspire you: leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, thinkers. What do they have in common? It's not that they never doubted themselves, it's that they acted despite their doubts. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward anyway. Wealth building is no different. The opportunities you don't act on, the ideas you don't share, the investments you hesitate to make. These missed chances often hold more weight than any external obstacle. One of the simplest ways to cultivate confidence is through a daily reflection practice. Ask yourself each morning, what do I stand for? What is one action I can take today that aligns with that? This exercise grounds you in clarity, shifting your mindset from passive waiting to active creation. The clearer you are about your values, your goals, and your abilities, the more decisive you become. Many people believe they need confidence before they take action, but the truth is, confidence is built through action. The more you trust yourself, the stronger that trust becomes. Wealth, success, and personal mastery do not come to those who wait for the perfect moment. They come to those who create it through bold and consistent steps forward. Mastering adaptability. Thriving in dynamic environments. Uncertainty is inevitable. The world is in constant motion. Economies shift, industries evolve, and personal circumstances change. Those who thrive are not necessarily the strongest or the smartest, but the most adaptable. Wealth is not just about accumulation, it is about agility. The ability to navigate uncertainty with confidence and creativity. The most successful people are not those who resist change, but those who learn how to move with it. Comparative philosophy offers an interesting perspective on this. Eastern traditions like Taoism emphasize flow, the idea that instead of forcing outcomes, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of life. Laozi, the legendary Chinese philosopher, taught that rigidity leads to breakage, while flexibility allows survival. Western existentialism, on the other hand, highlights personal choice, our ability to define meaning and direction, even in unpredictable circumstances. Adaptability merges these two approaches. It is about flowing with change while making intentional choices that shape our future. In the life and teachings of Thoth, there is a recurring theme of cyclical transformation, the understanding that life moves in patterns, and those who recognize these cycles can position themselves for success. This applies to wealth building as well. Economies rise and fall, markets expand and contract, industries emerge and fade. Those who resist change often find themselves left behind, while those who anticipate and adjust create new opportunities. Many people fear uncertainty because they associate it with instability. But what if uncertainty was not a threat, but an advantage? Those who master adaptability recognize that every shift in the world brings new possibilities. While some see crises, others see openings. The ability to remain open, flexible, and responsive is one of the most valuable skills anyone can develop. A practical way to cultivate adaptability is through a method called adapt and archive. Each time you encounter a challenge or unexpected change, instead of reacting with frustration, pause and document what you learned from the experience. Keep a growth log where you record how you navigated each situation, what strategies worked, and what insights emerged. Over time, this becomes a personal playbook, a guide that helps you handle future uncertainties with greater ease and confidence. The most successful people in history were not those who had a flawless plan, but those who knew how to pivot when circumstances shifted. Adaptability is the bridge between challenge and opportunity. Those who master it don't fear the unknown. They embrace it as the landscape where their greatest potential unfolds. Igniting your enduring wealth legacy. Wealth is not just about accumulation, it is about transformation. It is not measured solely by the money in your account, but by the impact you leave, the mindset you cultivate, and the way you move through the world. The greatest financial minds, philosophers, and spiritual teachers all point to the same truth. True abundance is not something you chase, but something you embody. Throughout history, Those who have built lasting legacies, whether in business, art, philosophy, or social movements, have all shared one key trait. They understood that their wealth extended beyond themselves. They saw their success as part of a greater cycle, not something to hoard, but something to circulate, refine, and expand. They recognized that wealth is a living narrative, shaped by the habits, choices, and perspectives we embrace daily. From metaphysics to modern psychology, one principle remains constant. Your internal world dictates your external reality. Every belief you shift, every habit you refine, every perspective you challenge. These are the brushstrokes painting your financial destiny. Abundance is not a destination, it is a state of being. It is a mindset that allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to take action where others hesitate, and to remain resilient when faced with uncertainty. The key takeaway? The journey of wealth building is never just about money. It is about self-mastery, vision, and the ability to navigate life with clarity and confidence. Your financial future is not something written by fate. It is something written by you, through the thoughts you hold, the actions you take, and the mindset you cultivate. So what's one insight you'll apply today? Share it in the comments. Let's continue this conversation because wealth, true, lasting wealth, is built not just through knowledge, but through engagement, reflection, and action. The journey does not end here. In fact, this is only the beginning.